in a picture.
Yeah, you like that?
I do like that.
I never liked that as a kid.
You never like, why?
I don't know. I never thought it was that great a punchline.
What, that he like fucks his mom and becomes stupid and like.
No, I can't say I was a fan of that.
Why?
That epic Family Guy clip.
Is it because you didn't like?
I'd never seen Back to the Future at that time.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like,
Yeah.
have you never seen it? So now that you have, because you ever so wonderfully.
Oh, do I have more appreciation for the Family Guy cutaway? No, I can't say no.
Even though you wear a Back to the Future T-shirt.
My mom for Christmas one year, I think it was like 2 years ago at this point, because I was moving to California, she gave me a Twin Peaks mall
Twin
T-shirt.
Twin Pines.
Yeah, what am I thinking? I'm thinking of
You're
the Netflix
thinking
show.
of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, just because it has California written on it, and so she gave me that. And
Is that really why?
Yeah, just because it had California.
Just because it had California on it?
Of course. She doesn't know I like Back to the Future. Like, I've watched it like once. I just wear it because it's easy. It's like a white shirt with like a little thing on it. But
it's like an off-white
I was going to say, it's not bright white, which I like. But Veronica hates it.
No, the only reason why I hate it is because he wears it every day.
I don't wear it every day. Look at this.
Today
But every single time we go out, I get complimented on the shirt.
Yes.
Everyone's like, nice shirt. And I always look at Veronica like, yeah, it is a nice shirt.
Yeah, every time he goes out, he does get complimented the shirt. But I'm like, yeah, but would you say nice shirt 5 days in a row? Probably not.
I think so.
Smiles. It is always coincidental that you happen to be wearing that shirt, and then like that same day I tell you I hate it, and somebody else tells you they love it.
Yeah, which motivates me to wear it another day.
You remember one of our friends would always wear like very out there clothing,
Yeah.
and every time we went out, somebody complimented them. But
Yeah.
but like in reality, wearing that kind of eccentric clothing, just like on an everyday, day by day basis, is just kind of
lame.
yeah.
Yeah. And then they went to Ireland with us, and that kind of clothing did not, like giant like boots and like
They
big
got
bomber jacket.
constantly made fun of the whole time we were in Ireland.
But they were being made fun of by Irish people, so they didn't even like hear what they were saying or process.
Yeah, they had no idea. Like an Irish guy go, and he just would he'd have no idea.
I'd be like, oh, they're making fun of you, and he'd be like, what? Huh?
Huh?
What?
Hello?
Guys, we just got back from the All-American road trip. Welcome back.
Welcome back,
to
guys.
the set, to the Meeting Half West set. We've added old Baldy basics that we were graciously given.
Thank you, Baldy. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Micah.
Yeah. We also got a little gumball machine.
Yeah, we got a little Benson. I'm gonna put a little face on that.
We just got back from the road trip 2 months ago.
They don't have to know that.
So
I guess they already know that.
Yeah. We were releasing like a backlog of episodes, which we didn't get as much as we thought. Just because while on the road trip, we had like a couple like snags in our schedule, and it resulted in us like having more time in certain places. But then other times, for a couple of people, I would forget to like reach out to them to like decide on a day until like 2 days before.
So like a week before the road trip, we had to get an itinerary. Well, I got an itinerary ready of all the people that we were going to meet, and I scheduled how we were going to get
how
to
long
each,
it takes to get to each of them, how long
each
we'll
mile, how much time,
where we'll sleep,
where we're gonna sleep, where I'm going to have to drive because I drove the whole time. I'm a little champion here. But yeah, I had to make an itinerary of everything. And so the states that we were stopping by were kind of chosen by who was closest. And we just kind of, and who we needed to, who we were going to interview and who we were going to meet up with and who was closest. And so we just kind of made like a snake all around the country.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
We didn't get to meet up with a couple of people just because they were either like out of town or they were like, "Oh, I'm busy this day. I can't do it." But it was only like a couple.
Yeah, it was only like 3.
But then other times we'd meet up with people and they'd be so cool and like chill that we're like, we don't want to ruin this vibe by recording a podcast. Let's just chill out for the day.
We would be hanging out with we hung out with Billiam
and his girlfriend.
Here, put Billiam right here. We were hanging out with them and I don't know, we were just having so much fun. I was like, fuck it, I don't want to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to get corporate America on that. No, I'm kidding. It's not. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a really good time.
Yeah.
Out of the whole thing, I mean, what was your...
The worst place to stay was Florida, definitely.
You think that was the worst place to stay?
Florida was the worst.
No, dude. New Mexico.
New Mexico.
We
didn't stay there though.
Yes, we did.
Did we?
We
On the way
we
back.
stayed in Albuquerque, yeah.
On the way back, but they had really good Chinese.
Okay. See,
that brings it up in my mind.
That does. Okay. To give context here, me, Mark, and Sunny had to drive back from Florida all the way to California, right? And we only had 3 days.
Yeah.
We had 3 days to get back to California because Mark's family was going to be coming in town. And so I kind of had to like bust a mish. I had to drive like 10-hour, 15-hour days. No, 10-hour, not 15-hour.
Yeah.
That was only the first time. But yeah, 10-hour days. And so by the time it was like the last stretch of the road trip, we were in New Mexico. And New Mexico, and I'm sorry for any of you fans who live there.
Oh, they agree.
It's a shithole. New Mexico is a shithole.
Everyone you spoke to in New Mexico was like, yeah, this
They
is a
all
shithole.
hated
Yeah.
it. And so we kind of were just like fucking around a bit, and I was kind of like still deciding. I just driven 10 hours from Dallas all the way to New Mexico, and so I was kind of like still deciding whether or not we were gonna just
Get
like
a hotel or go back home.
just fuck it and go back home for 15 more hour drive. Just go home. Pull
Either
the
way,
lever.
though, we'd be wasting a day because we just sleep all of the next day anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
So
we would sleep.
We
yeah.
just stayed over in New Mexico, but I'm glad we did because we went to this Chinese place, this shitty rundown Chinese
It was
place, because I
called-
really wanted Chinese.
It was called the Golden Dragon.
Yeah, a generic name,
Yeah, very generic.
and it was some of the best Chinese food I think I've ever had in my life.
But to set the stage for you guys, every house, like every building, every house, every business that was around this like Chinese food place,
Like
shut, burnt down to the ground, boarded up, just isolated. The town, we were in Tucumcari. The town was just fuck all isolated.
We were in Toucan Henry.
Tuca and Henry.
Yeah, you
You mean
remember
Tuca
that?
and Birdie? No. Who's that?
Isn't that the little meme where it's the kid and he's like, nobody likes my OC, and then
Oh,
he rips
not
the big...
Toucan Henry.
Yeah.
Toucan Henry. Okay.
That's the little image where it's like the boy ripping up the thing and no one...
God damn it,
It's
Mark.
like I cried loving like porn. Anytime you say it, I think of that. And then he like
Toucan
rips it and then
Henry.
walks away.
Nobody likes Toucan Henry.
Yeah.
Editor, put a little picture up real quick.
There's like little stray dogs running around
Yeah,
outside.
the whole like place was like overtaken by like stray dogs. Like they're like nobody. I didn't see a single person like walking a dog or going out for a walk in general. It was just isolated and
ghost town.
desolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this Chinese place was like, and I had wanted Chinese food for a long
For
time.
like 4 or 5, no, like a week.
Yeah,
I feel
was
like a
I
week we were
really want
talking about Chinese food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we finally stopped off, and it was really good.
It was the best Chinese food I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what it
genuinely.
was about it, but it was really good.
Maybe it was because we were like extraordinarily tired and we
Yeah.
had been eating like fast food or like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
what did we have that day? Just Subway.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
all we had was Subway and like snacks from like gas station stuff. Not like a really like a sit down proper meal.
Yeah. The best part too is we got our food, we eat our food. It was so good. Sonny still hadn't fucking arrived yet. He's the only one who didn't get his food.
Sonny was the only one who did not get his food on time.
Yeah.
By the time me and Mark finished, Sonny
just got his
just
food.
got his food, and he got General Tso's chicken, which by the way, I've never had that, and Sonny always talks about it. And so when he ordered it, I was done with my meal, and I look over at his, and I was like, damn, his food looks pretty fucking good. And Sonny's like, you want some? And I was like, hell yes, I want some. Dude, he ordered the best thing on the menu, dude. I felt really bad because he kept saying, like, help yourself. And I was like, I fucking will. I kept taking his food off of his plate and just eating it myself.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the best China. So if you're in Tucumcari, go to the Golden Dragon.
But that puts it above Florida. We're in Florida. I could not believe how hot it was. Everyone else says Florida's hot, and I'm like, oh, I'm in California,
It's
so I
humid.
get how hot it is.
It's
but
humid.
yeah, it's really humid. And stepping out of the car right away, I was like, oh, I get what that
Your
fucking.
ass
We were
crack
like,
has like beads of sweat forming.
we were in like where, Miami?
We were in. Our first stop was near Miami.
Yeah, so it was
Near
around that
Miami.
area. It was
Yeah.
so fucking warm.
It was fuck off hot.
Yeah, I didn't want to do anything. Then we went to.
It makes me think like, how the fuck does anybody
how does
like
anyone
mow
live
their
there?
lawn? How do they
Yeah.
like?
How do they do anything?
How do they carry their groceries from their car to their like
Yeah.
front door without melting?
Imagine like a builder, construction
Yeah,
worker.
dude.
We went to for a bit to meet G in the Sonic show. We went up near the top of Florida, and that was just like fucking Bug
It was just
City.
But you know what's so weird about Florida is that, because I'm used to California, okay? I'm used to where like you drive maybe like 5 miles down this road, you're gonna find a freeway, and the freeway is gonna take you to another freeway that takes you to another freeway, and then you get to where you are, right? That's like the joke of California is we have a million freeways. But in like Florida, you take like one highway that's just like a dirt road.
It's a straight
that
line.
is a straight line that goes fucking nowhere,
There's
and there's like a
nothing
jungle.
around, yeah.
There's like monkeys.
We
and
saw
like,
a lemur on the road.
we saw King Julian
Yeah.
like flattened on the road, like skid marked. You know, like you're in the middle of fuck all, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's a city. Here's a Orlando. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Florida, he hated it. Would
What?
never want to move to Florida. I was going to move to Florida originally when I was coming to America.
Dude,
no,
and I told you.
and Veronica told me
I
not
told
to.
you.
Yeah.
I was like, don't move to Florida. Florida is shit.
Yeah. It was the right decision.
Yeah, it was the right opinion.
Yeah.
Florida, though, like, they have resorts. You have Disneyland. You have, like, pools.
Oh,
If you had...
tourist stuff. You know what? I think it was around that Miami area where we were staying in a hotel, and I liked that hotel a lot, actually.
They gave you free coffee in the lobby.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Our whatever hotel it was in when we were meeting Billy, it was around Orlando actually. It was a
was in
hotel,
Orlando.
in Orlando, and it was really good.
It had like a water slide and a lazy river.
Yeah, it also had a hot tub, which you guys will be hearing about.
Oh God, we will tell you. We will tell
the
you.
most
Dude,
awkward experience of our life
think-
happened in Florida.
Florida did kind of suck. The people we met up with in Florida were fucking great, but Florida itself sucks.
But
Well, we should probably, kind of start this off with like, okay, so Florida was your least favorite.
yeah,
Okay. New Mexico is my least favorite.
Virginia was definitely my favorite.
Virginia was my favorite too.
In Virginia, we met up with
Saber Spark,
and Nathaniel
Micah.
Bandy, and Micah, the creator of Baldi's Basics.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. It was a nice place.
Dude, Virginia is like one of the most beautiful states I've ever driven through ever. It's like, it's so nice and the air is so fresh. And like, we went to Virginia Tech. Saber Spark showed us around at Virginia Tech. Beautiful campus. Beautiful, like, little college town, too. They got the Ransona turkeys everywhere.
Yeah, they have the big memorial for the school. I think
The
it
big
was
Virginia Tech shooting.
Yeah, and then Veronica is like stepping on the.
I was like stepping on like memorial stones, thinking it was just like little walking stones.
Yeah.
Saber Spark's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. I looked down. I was like, oh fuck. While I have like a cigarette in my hand, I'm like the most disrespectful person ever. I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
But yeah, Virginia was really nice. But then other places like I liked going to see in Philadelphia. That was cool.
Oh, I love Philadelphia.
Sunny's neighborhood is all right. I wouldn't want to live there
Maryland-
though.
Maryland. This is the second time we went to Maryland and visited Sunny.
It's my turn to play Fortnite. What is your problem?
Good
Yeah.
old beautiful big fat black Sunny TM.
If you guys want to hear about the first time we went, check out last Sunny episode. We're gonna record another podcast with Sunny, but
were.
he so we went originally around America with Gene Gumball
Jane
from our
Gumball.
Winnie the Pooh episode.
Yeah, guys, look. Remember this thumbnail? No.
Wait.
Do you remember this though? When
Is a lot of money.
Okay, Jane.
Yes.
Tell me this. You are in a room and you're with Pooh, Eeyore, and Owl. Go. What does that mean?
So we went all the way around, and the halfway point was Sunny's place. So Jean traveled all the way, and then she was like, "Oh, I have a friend coming into town, so I have to go back home." So Jean took a flight from Sunnyland to California.
No, Jane took a flight to Sunnyland to Miami because
Got
all of a
stuck in
sudden,
Miami.
got stuck. Her like second flight from Miami to California was canceled, so she
So
had
she
to
was stuck
fuck off
for
in
2
Miami.
days.
Yeah, she had to do fuck all.
And we kind of like it was like tag team.
Yeah, it was.
Jean tagged out for Sunny, and Sunny came with us back
in.
home. But
Although
Sunny,
I would have preferred Jane staying than Sunny, because Sunny farts in the car with the windows rolled up.
and Sunny came back with us to California, and he stayed with us for like a month. He literally stayed with us for a month, and we
That
were
was
like,
the longest we've
Yeah,
ever
had
been
Sunny.
with Sunny.
Yeah,
Because we had like what, 2 weeks we had 5 days with him at his house, then 2 weeks on the road, and then a month.
yeah. And then right when we got back, from as far back as when he was at our house, we were like, Sunny, we gotta record a podcast when you're here. We gotta record a podcast
we were
for
sup-
like a month and a half.
We were
straight.
supposed to record a podcast at his place when we first got there,
And
which
we were
was in the beginning of
so
what?
tired.
It was in the beginning of May.
I think it was.
No, late April.
It was late April. It was April 25th. I think.
Fuck, dude, it's June. It
It's
is
the
June
end of June.
20 something, dude.
It's June 22nd.
Holy fuck, what the hell?
Yeah.
It went like that. That's
Yeah.
really fucked up, dude.
We started planning this in February.
Yeah, we started planning this road trip in February.
Yeah.
We had wanted to do like an all-American road trip, like
For
the
years.
like the Gooners all-American road trip for like a couple years now, and that turned into the all-American road trip turned into the Irish Adventures, where I just went solo,
Went to Ireland,
and
yeah.
then that turned into everyone just coming to LA, and then it was
Probably.
VidCon, and then blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we finally get to do it. And we do it for a good reason. I mean, you know, we get to record podcasts for you guys. We also get to meet a lot of our friends online that we haven't got to like
Yeah, it was great.
properly like interact with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we never recorded a podcast with Sunny.
No, that never
We
happened.
were lazy. Well, to be fair, we had just gotten back, and my family was in town, who I haven't seen in a year. And then after all that, it was like, holy shit, let's
And Sunny
just
was still in
relax.
town.
Yeah, and
and
Sunny's
then-
still in town, and it's just like, let's
It was
just
just
not.
like, yeah, fuck all. Let's just chill.
Well, by the end, it was like an unspoken agreement that we just were not gonna record
Yeah,
anything.
no, nobody brought it up. It was kind of like, you know, like when you're in school and like everyone's like, oh, the teacher didn't like
Check
talk
the
about the
homework.
homework,
Yeah.
so nobody bring up the homework, you know?
Yeah, no one wanted to do the podcast, but no one wanted to say it. This
be
is the first time we've recorded a podcast in like 2 months, but now it's figured out, and
Yeah, now we're big dick chilling.
yeah, I want to do more of the podcast. I want to like make it more of like an experimental thing.
Yeah,
Where
I want us
wanna,
to do more.
I want to do more game stuff. I want to like, I don't know, make more like
I want to do more.
non-podcast stuff on the channel.
I want to do more movie review stuff.
That'd be fun.
And I want to do like more wench reviews and
I would love to do movie reviews where it
Themed
isn't just
content.
like an hour of us talking uncut. I would love to do
Yeah.
like highly edited, like a solid like
our
20
butterfly
minutes.
effect episode that we talked about like on Twitter. That was what it was supposed to be.
Oh, it was supposed to be that, yeah.
It was
And
supposed
then
to be really
I
highly
posted about
edited.
wanting to do gameplay stuff, but we've been busy. We recorded like 3 hours of Sonic
we
and the Secret
recorded
Rings.
3 different games, or we tried to record 3 different games.
We played like Kingdom Hearts for like 2 hours. Then I think we deleted all the footage for that
Yeah,
one.
we did delete all the footage.
There was another one, but then recently when Sunny was in town, we recorded 3 hours of Sonic and the Secret Rings of us playing it on our TV, and then I just
Oh, it pissed me off.
So Veronica was mad the whole time. She was like, I don't want to play this game, but I want to look at this game.
I hated it, dude. I played one level and I was like, this fucking sucks. I fucking hate this
And
game.
we were going to record more, but Sunny was leaving in like 3 days, so it became another like unspoken thing of like, let's just not. play the
Would
rest of
you
that
would
game.
you want to finish Sonic and the Secret Rings?
I deleted the footage.
Oh, okay, good. Well, whatever.
I had
It
to make
wasn't-
room on my SD card.
It wasn't very good, anyways.
Oh, I think it would have been funny if it was cut up to like the best bits.
True, but I was having a bad attitude about it.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was.
So yeah, guys, if you want us to do stuff on the channel, more fun stuff, then let us know. Instead of solely just being the podcast every week, I guess I want to take a more loose approach to it all.
Yeah,
let
I
me know
think
how
we
that
should just
sounds.
experiment. We should experiment more with what, you know, like create more creative things. I think that's what we need to do. Is just be a little bit more creative with this, other than just us sitting here and talking.
Yeah, at the start I had a very like we post like once every 2 weeks and like it's very professional and this, but now I'm just like I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't really care about like views on this channel. I don't really care about like subscribers. I just care about doing fun stuff.
Yeah, honestly, at first it was like that, and I think it was like that because we were working with Screenwave, so it felt
There's,
like
like,
we
an
had this
expectation.
pressure to
Yeah.
perform. But honestly, I could give 2 fucks if this episode gets 2K likes or I mean 2K views or like 100,000 views.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it got 100,000, I'd be like, oh, that's great. But like, I just kind of want to just like
Chill out.
chill out, make shit, put it out, have a good time. Like this is supposed to be about us having a good time.
Yeah, and I appreciate
Leans
you
back.
guys watching.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I don't think we really would have committed this much if it weren't for you, like you guys giving a
What for
shit.
you guys watching this
the
right
fans. Do you ever feel?
now? I was gonna say no, really, all of you. We always watch JonTron fireworks
We love the JonTron
to the point
fireworks.
where we have the intro like memorized.
Oh my god.
But
Wait,
okay.
The other day we were hanging out and we were it was Jane's birthday? Was it Jane's birthday or was it Margot's birthday where we started singing that?
I think it was
Margot's.
yeah.
It's a good song.
His cover's better than
His
hers.
cover is better than the original.
We met some colorful folks while we were on our road trip.
Dude, okay, we met 2 of the weirdest people I think I've ever encountered in my life.
Well, Veronica met 2 of them. I met one of them.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for one of them, but Jean met one
Jane-
of them.
Jane
we should
was
have
there.
had Jean talk about this.
Jane was there with me for this first interaction, so we'll
Yeah, go
let's
off.
just go into it.
We'll act like it's one of those scripted podcasts
Okay.
on TikTok where I'm like, what? Really?
what happened?
And then what happened next?
And then sponsored
Shows-
by
shows-
Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay, go on.
Okay. So
Set the scene for us.
let me set the scene. Let me give some context, like a little preface, you know, a prologue or whatever.
Little this,
So
little that.
little this, a little bit of that. So essentially, it was me, Jane, and Mark. I drove 26 hours from LA to Oklahoma. Okay, we had one night of rest in Oklahoma, and then the next day I had to drive 12 hours to Indiana. And then we stayed there for one day, recorded a
We met
full
Sammy.
day. Yeah, it was Sammy. So we stayed with him for one day and then recorded for a whole day. And by 10 p.m., I had to pull an all-nighter and drive all the way to Maryland to meet up with Sunny. So obviously, my little Burhow-mobile, my car.
What do you call that, Veronica?
We call my car the Burhow-mobile because it's Aaron Hansen's old car. And so that's just the name. That's just the name for the car is a Burhow-mobile. So the poor little Burhow-mobile, she needed some new tires and she needed like an oil change, you know, like driving fucking that many miles is like a lot, you know, especially in a span of 3 days.
And you'll hear later that it like there was reason to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, shit happened later on.
And so, so I was like, by the time we got to Sunny's, I was like, okay, I really, really need to get an oil change and I really, really need to get my tires changed too. So I was like, oh, I'll just go to this like one tire place. And it's like one of those chain tire places like Jiffy Lube or whatever, you know, or Pep Boys. It's like one of those.
So we all went bowling.
So yeah, right next to the tire place was like a bowling alley. And so Mark was like, I really want to go bowling.
But Sunny did too. Sunny,
Yeah,
Sunny loves bowling.
whenever we all get together, we all really like going bowling.
We went bowling like 4 different times.
That was for you, Sonny.
But the bowling had a wait. So we were all just sitting in the bowling arcade, and Veronica was like, "Well, I'm just gonna go fix my car."
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. They were like, "Oh, it's happy hour right now." And
no, there's an event.
That's right. It was an event. And you had to pay $50 per person.
But you get free pizza.
But you get free pizza and you get a bowl for 2 games, or you can wait like an hour and a half and bowl for $10. So we were like, "Fuck that! We'll wait an hour and a half." So I was like, "Okay, you guys go fuck off at the bowling alley. I'll go to the like tire place and see what I can do." And it was getting pretty late, so it was like almost closing. So I was like, "Okay." I get there. And I walk in, nobody is there. The whole place is empty. Not even like the TV that they usually leave in the lobby. Like nothing was on. It was just like it was like closing time, you know? And there's a guy there, and how I can describe this man is tall, little bit of a belly, stick skinny arms, beady eyes, glasses, thinning hairline. That's the best I get, you know, just a guy, right? And so I go up to the guy and I'm like, "Hey, listen, you know, I need a oil change, you know, tires or whatever." He's like, "Oh, actually, we're going to be closing soon, so you should probably come back tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can come back tomorrow, no problem." And then he's like, "Yeah, I have to go home to my girlfriend. You know, I'm pretty pissed off at her. I might break up with her. I don't really know. That's what I got going on." And I was like, okay. Why do you want to break up with your girlfriend? You know, he proceeds to tell me this. I can't make this shit up, dude. I'm just going to reenact to you what this conversation was like. Okay. "Oh, why'd she break up with you?" "Well, you know, the other night she really scared me. She really, really fucking scared me. She came up to me as I opened the door. And she came up to me and demanded me to leave my phone and my wallet, my keys. And then she proceeded to strip me down naked." And I was like, "I don't know, man. This kind of sounds like a good thing. Kind of sounds like you had a good time." No, we didn't have a good time because she was forcing herself on me. And don't get me wrong. She's really sexy. She's really, really sexy. But she wanted to handcuff me and she wanted to do this stuff to me. And it kind of freaked me out. And I was like, "Oh, man, that sucks. Well, how come you want to break up with her? Is that why you want to break up with her?" His response was, "No, I want to break up with her because she keeps fucking other guys and she wants one of these guys that she's fucking to move in with her. So I decided I would start paying her rent at her place so she has enough money so these other guys won't move into her house."
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Cool.
I was like, "I don't know, man. It kind of seems like she's taking you for a ride. Like, she is fucking other dudes while she's your girlfriend." "Oh, well, we're not really exclusive." "I see. So you're paying her rent even though she's not your girlfriend and she's still fucking other guys." "Well, yeah, we got this thing figured out. You know, it's just, but you know, she just, I don't know. I just want to break up with her. I'm just not happy." And I'm like, "Well, man, if you're not happy, you probably shouldn't do this." Meanwhile, Mark and Jane and Sunny and
I'm
Olive.
having the best time of my life. I won Flappy Bird. I got a free pair of wireless headphones.
That we gave to my dad for Father's Day.
I won a Crossy Road, the arcade version. Got 1,000 tickets. Got a little shitty Sonic erasers.
Mark and Sunny and Jane are all winning all these fun little knickknacks and prizes. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here kind of like, I wouldn't say I'm trapped into this conversation, but I'm kind of just like waiting for him to like schedule my appointment for the next day. So I just have to listen to him.
Yeah, if you were an asshole to him or didn't listen to him, he would have been like, okay, fuck you.
Yeah, he would. I don't think he would have helped me.
Yeah.
Because he did. He was like, oh, we're really busy tomorrow. And that next day was like the last day I can get my tires and like oil change fixed before we had to hit the road again. So I was like, so I just listened. I grit my teeth and I listened. So he ended up telling me about how he's on the school board, supposedly, and he wants to be mayor someday and all this stuff. He's really into politics, and his girlfriend is just kind of like loose-lipped, and she just like is a free spirit, and she does whatever she wants, and he's kind of being taken for a ride. It's really weird, like how he described his relationship, because obviously they're not exclusive, as he said. His relationship with this woman was just like very odd. Okay, whatever. Like, I'm like, okay, can you schedule me for tomorrow? Yeah, okay, great. All right, bye. And I walk back over to the bowling alley, and I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, this is fucking weird, right? So then, yeah, we bowl, have a good time. I come back the next day.
Yeah, with Jane.
With Jane, because I was like, listen, Jane, can you come with me? Because
I was gonna go too.
Yeah, Mark was gonna go with me.
But I was working on Bendy and the Ink Machine.
That's right. So he had to stay at Sunny's and work. So I was like, Jane, why don't you come with me to this fucking thing and witness this man with me, please? So Jane was like, okay, sure. That's awesome. So she came with me. We get to the place, and he obviously was still there. He comes right up to us. He's like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get them working on your car. An hour goes by, and he's starting to explain everything he explained to me. He's starting to explain that to Jane. He starts shit-talking his work. He starts shit-talking his girlfriend. He starts shit-talking his life is like miserable. Like, he hates everything. And like, Jane, bless her heart, is like, man, that really sucks. Have you ever thought of maybe quitting your job if this makes you so unhappy? And his response is like, no, they need me. Oh, they just need me. I couldn't do that to them.
Arrogant about it.
Yeah, they got nobody. I'm the glue here. Jane's like, okay. And I'm just smiling, like being like, okay, Jane, let's see you problem solve. Like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
but then he started getting creepy towards Jane.
Then he started getting weird. He's complaining about his girlfriend, and Jane's kind of like, well, why are you with her if it makes you feel this way? And he's just like, oh, ha, 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 you're so adorkable. I think I told him about the word adorkable the day before, so he used that on Jane. He's like, haha, you're adorkable. And Jane's like, and he's like, this one, my girlfriend, and he shows us a picture. He's like, my girlfriend, she's got like 4 years of fertility left in her. But you, and he motions to Jane, and he's like, you got like 18 years left of fertility in you. You're still good. And Jane's just like, dude, we looked at each other like, what the fuck? Did he really just say that? Like, I didn't know that was like a pickup line to go up to a woman and be like, you got like 4 years left of fertility in you. Yeah. It's kind of like an equivalent of saying you got wide childbirthing hips. Ugh, so sexy.
And it works. Now Jean and him are together.
They fucked off.
He moved into her apartment.
She lives in a tire mansion. No. Jane, we were just like, what the fuck? Like, why are you saying this to us? And so then Jane's kind of like trying to laugh it off, like, ha, and eventually, like, it gets to a point where he's just like, well, I'm not flirting with you. I don't want you to think I'm flirting with you, Jane. Adorkable Jane. It gets to a point where me and Jane are like, okay, we really need to, like, fuck off and get away from this guy, like, for a while. So we kind of just, like, go to a 7-Eleven, get a couple snacks, get a coffee or whatever. We come back. I think I got the guy an Arizona iced tea just to be nice. And he's just kind of like, we're sitting in 2 chairs in the lobby, and he's got like his desk where he's supposed to be helping people. And mind you, he's having this conversation with me and Jane while there are other people in the building, like while customers are coming in and out. Like, this one woman came in sitting, hoping to pick up her car, sat there for 45 minutes, never got helped, and left.
Yeah.
And this whole time, this guy is talking to us. Well, anyway, so eventually by the end of it, after he's like talking our heads off, like bitching about his girlfriend who fucks other guys and complaining about his work and how he's like, you know, overworked and underpaid, but they also need him. This man who has these problems in his life that he's just dumping onto us, and when we provide some sort of solution, it's not good enough, you know? It's just kind of like he likes to wallow in his own self-pity. So we just, at a certain point, we just kind of like, okay, whatever. You know, where's my fucking car? My car finally gets fixed. By the end of it, he hands me and Jane 2 business cards. And it has his name, it's got his phone number, his email. It's like, oh, I'm so-and-so running for city council because he wants to be mayor.
On the back, he leaves a little surprise.
Yeah, on the very back of the card, he puts down his Snapchat and his Facebook. And he's like, you should add me. I look at his name, and his Snapchat name is like really girly. It's like, I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want you guys to fuck with him. But his Snapchat name was like something like puppies and rainbows. It was literally like something like that, like a pairing of two girly things together. And so we both looked at each other like, that's fucking weird. Fast forward, Jane's stuck in Miami, right? She's supposed to be going home. She's like, I'm gonna add him on Snapchat. I was like, you fucking should add him. Like, see what he says, right? We're just like, what the fuck is this freak doing? She fucking messages him, and he instantly, like she adds him, and his icon's a woman. It's not him. So you know how you can make like a little Bitmoji? It's like a woman. And she's like, that's weird. And the name is like Sophia or something. It's a woman's name with a woman Bitmoji. So we're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And Jane's messaging him, and she's like, hey, this is Jane from the tire store. Like, is this so-and-so? And he's like, oh, yes, it is me. And she's like, why do you have a woman icon? Why do you have a woman like name? And he's like, oh, haha, this is the account I use when I message married women and I Snapchat them so their husbands don't get mad. And instantly Jay's like, okay, this guy sucks. This guy fucking sucks. And she said,
yeah, he is a prick, but he's also like running for mayor while doing all this stuff.
Like he is. Well, we'll get to it. So Jane, beautiful, wonderful Jane, decides, I'm gonna Google this guy. Googles the guy. First thing that comes up, man arrested for assaulting woman, like officer. Jane's like, what the fuck? Turns out the guy was arrested for like assaulting a woman, a female officer.
Cop,
yeah, he like grabbed her and did shit. I don't know, like threw her on the ground or something.
I was like, no, that was long ago. It's all sorted. The charges were dropped.
Yeah, he was like, you're not just a dorkable, you're a Janeable. He's like, I got a confession. I actually was flirting with you. Like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But then I was like, okay, wait a minute. So, because Jane sends me the article, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna add him. So I added him, and I was like, hey, is this so-and-so? He's like, oh yeah, it's me. Hey, how's it going? And I was just like, sends him the article. This you? He's like, oh, yeah, that actually happened a long time ago. But the charges are dropped, and I moved on from it. And I was like, okay. And just like took a screenshot, sends him a notification on Snapchat, and then I just blocked him.
And that was it.
That was our weird tire man experience in Maryland. I'm very, very glad that Jane was there because, like, what the fuck, dude? This guy is such a weirdo.
Yeah, and I looked up his Facebook, and he does have, like, the face of someone you would expect to, like, talk like that and act like... Not that we can put it on screen.
Yeah, we can't... I'm not gonna out this dude.
Yeah.
Because clearly he's living his life.
He's got enough troubles already.
Yeah, he's got a girlfriend that's fucking other guys, and he's trying to be mayor, and he works at a tire shop that needs him.
And he assaulted a cop.
Yeah, and he assaulted a cop. Poor guy.
Yeah.
The poor darn guy.
You know, I wasn't there for any of that, so I have no experience of it.
What would you have done? What would you have done if you listened to this guy?
Nothing. I would have sat there and listened to it. I probably would have got mad at you. When we left to go to 7-Eleven, I'd be like, stop talking to him. Stop indulging in this. I don't want to listen to this anymore. It does my head in.
To be fair.
I don't have a tolerance for that.
To be fair, yeah. If I meet like a curious character of some sort, or I find somebody interesting, be it positive or negative, I'm always just like, let's see what they do.
Yeah, no,
let's
I get like very like, I'll just like start looking around, and I'll start like
you try to find an exit strategy.
It'll be like apparent in my face when I'm like sick of like listening to someone, you know, like I'll be like, whatever.
Whereas I'm like, tell me, your girlfriend's fucking other guy. Oh, tell me about this, you know, like.
Yeah.
So in a way, I asked for it.
Yeah, you did.
I asked for it by having a conversation with somebody, like a normal human being.
But that's what you wanted. You wanted him to like you. This went better than you could have expected.
It really did. Yeah, this was a lot more interesting than I thought it was, and it made me laugh. But he was a weirdo.
Yeah, but then I was there for the second weirdo.
Yeah, I did a majority of the talking. So the only thing I have to explain prior to what Mark has to say is that Mark had to record for Quagmire video he did. So me and Sunny had to kind of like fuck out of the hotel room. So me and Sunny were at the elevator. We run into this woman, and I'm like, oh, the elevator's taking so long. She's like, oh, you know what helps me is I like to make a game out of it, like which door is gonna open first. So we're kind of like joking around with her, and she's like, oh, what brings you here? And I'm like, oh, my husband and I are working on this on like a project, and we're doing a podcast, and so we're traveling around the country right now, and we just happen to be in Florida. And she's like, oh my god, I'm an actress, give me your phone number. Here, give me your phone, because I was holding my phone. She's like, give me your phone, let me put my phone number in your phone, and we should talk definitely, because one of my really good friends is the creator of Ninjago, just so you know, Lego Ninjago. So let's get in contact, let's talk. And I was like, okay, sure. And so at that point, way later in the day, we all decide we want to go swimming.
Yeah, well, it's like this is the one day in the whole trip so far that we get to like actually enjoy like a hotel. We had somehow gotten all the way to Florida without staying in a single hotel.
Yeah, all of our friends have been so nice enough to like allow us to like spend the nights in their home.
Yeah, shout outs to Jean's parents.
Yeah, shout outs to Jane's parents. Shout outs to
Nathaniel,
Sammy.
Bandy, Sammy,
Sonny, and Sonny's family.
Sonny, and
Aber,
Rusty Keege.
my cousin Aber.
Yeah, and there's one more. Lee.
Yes,
Lee booked this hotel.
Lee.
Point is, we got all the way to Florida without staying in a hotel. So we wanted to enjoy the pool. So we go down, and Veronica's like, oh no, in the hot tub, it's that lady again. And I was like, oh, I don't care. We're going to the pool. We're not going to the hot tub.
By the way, it's like super overcasty.
It's nighttime. It's like 7 p.m.
It's nighttime. It's overcasty, but it's not like...
It's not warm.
It's not warm
weather. So a cold pool is not like refreshing. It's like fuck.
It's like it's a cold pool because it's cold during the day because it's hot as fuck during the day, but it's like not at night. So it's like, oh, why would I want to sit in a freezing fucking pool? There's a beautiful jacuzzi right here.
But the pool wasn't freezing, so me and Sunny were like, okay, great, we'll just go in the pool.
No, okay, fuck off. You and Sunny, dude. There was a point where I was like, I'm gonna go to the jacuzzi, and they're like, we're gonna go in the pool. And I look at Sunny and Mark, they're like against the wall, like not moving, just like.
It's one of those things where after you're in the pool for like a minute, you're like, okay, I'm used to it now. So like your body temperature like adapts, and you're like, okay, cool, this is great.
Just see them pressed against the wall with all these kids running around, like splashing in front of them.
One little kid.
Just standing
there was this one little kid who looked like a mini version of Sunny, and he was running right along the edge where we were at, and he was running and he fell and he tripped and fell in his face.
Mark is trying to get my attention, being like, did you see that kid? I'm in the pool, like all the way. I'm like, yeah, so like, yeah.
But then after a while, we just see Veronica getting out of the hot tub and walking over to us. Because you said the lady was like ranting about Jesus.
So that same woman, the actress woman, and like 6 other people in the hot tub, and the actress woman is preaching about Jesus Christ and like our Lord and Savior to all of these people. And like there's a Jewish couple in the hot tub kind of like having this religious debate or discussion. It came off like more like a debate than a discussion, but they're having this like religious conversation back and forth. And I'm in between them, like quite literally, like the woman is right here and the couple are right here, and they're all talking back and forth to each other, and I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck am I, what is this, and everybody else who is in the hot tub are just kind of forced to listen to her like preach, and then this guy correct her. So I was just like, I was like, okay, I have her phone number. She's an actress. She's a religious actress. I'm going to get away from this. I'm going to go hang out with Sunny and Mark.
So we have a great time in the pool. We're running around. I somehow get Sunny. I give Sunny a piggyback ride in the pool from one end to the other.
We were doing like really stupid things where we were like, Sunny's like, whoa, I could water bend. He's like splashing water around like an idiot.
Yeah. But the whole time Veronica's bitching like, I'm going to go in the hot tub. And I was like, okay. Like, but there's the ladies in there. She's like, I want to go in though, and I'm like,
you make it sound like I'm way more bitchier than I am.
But I'm like, just enjoy the pool, and she's like, I want to go in the hot tub.
I'm literally sitting there, like this, like when you're standing in a pool, but it's like the shallow end. So like, how you're standing. Here's like the bottom of the pool. Your like feet are as spread as far apart as possible, so you could like get your shoulders all the way in the water.
Not
and
that
I'm like,
you would have. You didn't want to get your hair wet.
I didn't want to get my hair wet.
Yeah.
No. But I was just kind of like.
But me and Sunny are chilling, so we're like, okay,
Huddled.
we'll go in the hot tub then.
No, wait. We look. And there's 3 Chabachooks people
And
chilling.
they all get out.
And they
So
all,
we-
and I'm like, look, they're leaving. Let's go. Let's get in the hot tub.
Yeah, so we got out and we get in the hot tub, and the lady's still there, and she's still running. My first impression of her, this is like my first time meeting her because I wasn't there before, and it's just her like being like, oh yeah, I read like these scriptures and this said this, and then the Jewish family's like, oh yeah, but in this scripture it says like, oh this and this, and she's like, no, I read those too. Yeah, so she's trying to make it seem like she's smarter than she is. But then one of the guys next to us, who was pretty nice, he asked
like
us what we were doing.
He was like a military guy.
Yeah, he asked us what we were doing, and we were like, oh, we're here doing this, and we're filming a podcast with people along the way. So he started asking us about the podcast, and then she immediately like looked over at us.
Her eyes like lit up, and she started staring at us.
And she's trying to talk to us, like ask us questions about the podcast in the most like obnoxious way possible. And then we're all sitting there like beside each other, and this little blonde kid like jumps in the hot tub.
This fucking kid splashes in front of Mark and points his finger at Mark, and he's like, "You're like a comic book nerd, aren't you?"
Yeah.
Like,
or he's like,
in
you
his
look like
face.
that. He's like, you look like a comic book nerd. But he's like, literally, imagine a kid this close, like pointing this close to your face.
Literally pointing at Mark's
Yeah.
face like this.
And he keeps doing this, but he's in the pool. So every time he does this, it like splashes water. So he keeps doing that and splashing
Mark's
water
like-
in my face. Yeah.
Then he turns to Sunny, and he turns to me, and he's like, "You're like the Red Ranger. You're like the Blue Ranger. You're the Blue Ranger." And he starts pointing in my face. "You're the Blue Ranger. You're the
He's
Blue
talking about the
Ranger."
Power Rangers.
And he starts like splashing around, like he's like, "I know the Power Rangers theme song. I know every single Power
He
Rangers
starts like
episode."
singing it, yeah. He's like, and then she turns around, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's my son. He knows all the Power Rangers episodes. Tell him how many there are." And he's like, 38. And she's like, no, but like,
No,
tell,
like, the entirety of the
the
series.
actual shit. Like he knows all of them.
She's like
that's-
showing off her
She's
obnoxious kid and
but
how much he knows about Power Rangers.
And he's like talking to her and responding to her, but he's not looking at her. He's like doing like still
he is
spinning
like
around like while talking to her.
ADHD. He is literally, he is an iPad kid.
Yes.
He's an iPad kid. You know what I mean?
And I can't deal with kids. I hate them.
Yeah, Mark really can't deal with kids.
Yeah.
I just kind of like, I'm kind of just
If
like,
it was my own kid, I would be like, I
if
could.
it was my own
accept
kid, I
it.
just,
No, if it was my own, like if my own kid is kind of like being obnoxious or like Eddie D, like I'd be fine with that. But if it's like
Ugh.
someone else's kid that I don't know, I have no authority over this kid. I have no responsibility for this kid. I don't care about them, you know.
see,
So I don't care that he's trying to talk to me. I want him
but
away.
this kid is like getting in our fucking face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
And he's yelling.
he's yelling
And this is
in
the
our
hot tub.
face in the hot tub.
It's universally known that no kids in the hot tub.
Yeah, it is universal. Yeah, exactly. Then he goes up to Sunny, and he's just like, he looks at Sunny.
He like freezes.
and
as he's talking to
he
Sunny.
gets in, like, I'm not kidding. It's like, imagine like holding a kid, and this is how close they are to you. That's how close he was to our faces.
Yeah.
So he looks at Sunny, and he's like,
Yeah, he like wants to touch
he
Sunny's
wanted
afro.
to touch Sonny's afro because
They'd
I don't think
never
he's
seen that
I don't think he's
afro
ever
before.
seen a black man or touched a black man's hair before.
So he was like, he had to seize the opportunity.
So he just like looked at Sonny, processed, do I touch this? Touched his hair,
Really
brought-
quick, like hoping he wouldn't notice.
Grabbed his hand back and then started spinning around again.
Yeah, and started singing the Power Rangers. And then she was like, oh yeah, he streams on Instagram Live, and the creator of Lego Ninjago always comments on his streams.
She's like, yeah, the creator of Lego Ninjago, he loves coming onto his streams. He always watches his streams.
Yeah, and she's like, tell him your idea for new Power Rangers. And she's like, yeah, someday he's gonna make new Power Rangers, the new show.
But then at the same time, right, we are talking while her kid is freaking out and she's gloating about how much her kid knows about Power Rangers. There's another woman in the hot tub genuinely just like asking us questions about her podcast.
She's like, oh, what's it called?
She's like interested.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, it's called Meeting Halfway.
And she's like, oh wait, what? And then she pulls out her phone, like the
other woman,
the
the-
other
the-
woman,
the
the crazy
actress,
woman. Yeah,
yeah.
she pulls out her phone. She's like, what's it called? She's like looking up like
She
meet
keeps
me
look-
halfway. Like
she keeps
like,
looking up like
like-
meeting in the middle.
Yeah. And then she finds us one. She's like, look, they called it Meeting Halfway before you guys. And I was like, well, okay, like whatever.
I was like, okay.
And she's like, yeah, but you guys do way better than them. I'm like, what? 15,000 views? Wow. Like
She's
that's
like, wow, look at that. Wow. And she's like, you know, son, look at this. Look, they interview famous people. So when you make your Lego Ninjago show or your Power Rangers show, they'll be interviewing you.
So she's shoving her hand in our face, or he's shoving his hand in our face, just repeating this nonsense on it. Like I couldn't even repeat half of it because it was just so
Yeah, it
much.
was so much
It was like
nonsense.
sensory overload. He's like spamming, like doing this in our face. He's like,
Spamming.
it's like oh, emoting in Fortnite, you know, like hitting the gritty. And he's like, walk on water. You're the Blue Ranger. You think I walk on water? And it's like...
He's like, there's a point where he was like, do you know where the master is? You know where the headquarters is?
He's doing it so much to the point where it's like, he's like 10. There's no way he actually like believes in his mind that we are the Power Rangers, you know? But it's like...
But he does.
But he keeps asking these questions that's like... And like, it's not like he's saying it and then we're all like, ha, that's funny. You know, he's like looking for an answer.
He's genuinely looking for an answer. Like, I think we are like, what?
We're the only people in the hot tub.
Us three, me, Sunny, and Mark, look old enough where we would be considered teenagers in television, like in the Power Rangers. So when he sees all three of us and we all look different, and we're all friends, we're sitting next to each other, he can't help but be like, those are the Power Rangers.
Maybe, but he was like 10 years old. He looked like 10 years old at least.
Did you believe that when you went to like Disneyland as a kid, did you ever believe that the costume people were the actual like characters?
Yeah, but I was like 5.
Not when you were like 10?
No, I never went. I'm not privileged enough to live in a fucking country where Disneyland is 2 minutes down the road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you got Tato Park, though.
No, it was only built like 3 years ago. I don't know what he thought, but no matter what, we were like, okay, this is enough. Veronica was like, I've had enough of this. Part of me wanted to stay a little bit longer to possibly like just see where this would go, but Veronica was like, I'm getting out.
I was just like, no, I'm done.
So we all got out and we walked away, and as we were walking away, he pointed at Veronica like, walk on water, and then Veronica just ignored it and walked away. I was like, Veronica, we need to talk about this in the podcast. We need... because at one point,
yes,
we looked over as he was like doing this in our face, and we looked over, and his mom has her phone, and she's filming us.
She is videotaping her son, pointing in our faces, yelling at us, spurting out.
And I was like, we need that fucking video to show on the podcast.
And I was like, well, she did give me your phone number.
So Sunny and Veronica both reached out.
Not
no
a response. Not a single
why
response.
Give the phone number? She either stopped caring or she realized that her son was a nuisance. Yeah. But I was like, I'm going to look her up. So I looked her up based off the name she put in Veronica's phone. And it turns out she is an actress. She was in a Will Smith movie, but as like a background character that maybe had like one line.
She didn't even have a line.
Did she not? Did you watch it?
Remember when we saw the clip that she was in, that she uses in her demo reel?
I thought that she had a line.
Did she have a line?
I mean, who cares?
I guess it doesn't really matter.
She's a background actress, and that's all that she's really been in. And then I went on her Facebook, and I found pictures of her with her kid, being like, he's the most intelligent kid in the world. I love this guy. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I love this little thing.
And that's
her grabbing his cranium, shaking it back and forth. That
was the second freak. And Sunny was like, well, it's rule
always
of
in threes.
We gotta find another one on the way home and never find one.
That's because Sunny was the freak all along.
Yeah,
Sunny was the freak we brought on the trip.
But yeah, no, that was probably the most awkward experience of my life. I've never experienced anything like that before.
How long do you think that hot tub was, like in total, from us sitting down to us leaving? How long do you think that was?
Possibly like 20 minutes at most.
It felt like an hour.
Yeah.
It felt like an hour. It felt like really long.
Yeah, it was pretty annoying.
And it happened like instantaneous. Like as soon as we sat in the hot tub, this started happening.
Yeah, as we're like fucking tired from doing all this
like
shit.
The only day where we can kind of like unwind and enjoy like our scenery.
Well, Florida was cool for at nighttime when we were staying there because we got to go down to the little amusement section. Sunny went in the mechanical bull. You should put that on screen right now.
Oh yeah, Sunny on the mechanical bull.
And then Sunny wanted. He wanted to go in the slingshot.
No, he did not want to go. We saw the slingshot, and Mark was like, "Come on, Sunny, I'll go with you if you do it."
Or I was like, "I've done that before," and he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And speaking, whenever I was like really, really young, like 8 years old, I did that, which is true. But then he was like, "So, would you do it again?" And I was like, "If you wanted to do it," and he's like, So you want to do it? And I was like, if you want to. And he's like, but you're saying that because you want to do it. And I'm like,
to be fair, okay. Sunny didn't want to do it. Mark put it in his head, and then Sunny, because Mark is brave enough to do it, Sunny feels like a pussy if he doesn't do it himself.
So he's like, okay, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, sure. And he keeps talking the whole way. He's like, we really gonna do
we're really doing this?
And then I was like, yeah, sure. And we walk up, and Sunny sits down, and the guy is putting down the thing. And he's like, sorry, you're just a little too big.
He couldn't. Or, well, Sunny was like, will I even fit? So the guy let him sit down in the thing and like put the lap bar down. It wouldn't reach down enough to lock.
By like half an inch.
By like half an inch.
This much.
But Sunny even then, I wouldn't chance it if it just barely could lock to begin with.
Before we did it, I went to Veronica and I was like, look, if he's like even like just barely fits, I really don't want to go on this with him because this will be like a horror story where like him being so
The
heavy
off
and me
balance.
being will like fling like us up in the other wrong way. And
that will cause
you
you to die and him to be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. So in the back of my head, I was like, oh, please say he's too big for this, which he was.
He was too big for.
But
yeah.
sometimes that comes in handy because we went to Universal with him with my family, and we waited like 20 minutes in line
What
for
ride
that
were we?
Harry Potter ride, and Sonny was too big for it. But in return, they gave him 6 free passes for a ride, and we used it to go on Jurassic Park, which had like an hour and a half a wait.
Yeah, we skipped the line. That was pretty nice.
It was a fun road trip. I would not want to do it again for a long time.
I wouldn't mind doing it again, but if we had more time, we didn't.
Yeah, I would want to do it like next year, like no time soon.
Yeah, no, not in this lifetime.
It was pretty dreadful. Like there was more stuff that I would have wanted to see. Like I wanted to go to Colorado or see like the Grand Canyon or junk like that.
I wanted to see Mount Rushmore. I wanted to see Chicago.
Yeah.
I wanted to see. Yeah, it would have been nice to see the Grand Canyon. Sonny really wanted to see the Grand Canyon.
So maybe sometime we'll do a Gooner road trip.
And we'll vlog it.
Too. Yeah, we'll do a
we'll
second
vlog
one.
it for you guys.
But yeah, what did you guys think of the episodes we released? I know they're very scuffed in places.
Yeah, but you know, to be fair, we were kind of like
we were using a new camera we hadn't used before. We were using a Tascam that I hadn't.
We were
used
using
before.
like equipment we haven't really used before, and traveling, and having to set it up, and having
Every
to like
time.
make
Imagine
sure it was
like
fine.
every day having to like take it apart and put it back together.
No,
and put it in the boat.
imagine every day waking up and being like, okay, do we have everything? Is everything accounted for?
Yeah.
Okay, let's drive 10 hours
And
to
it's
this
like-
place.
it's like
Okay, let's set
5
everything up.
Different like bags.
Yeah.
Plus our suitcases.
It's like one suitcase for lenses, one suitcase for a camera.
So John Fountain was great. That was the other one.
That was John
He was
Fountain.
gracious enough to give us these like original storyboards from Fairly Odd Parents and a character design sketch from Invader Zim. And when we met Sergio, he gave us the little
best
Brian
gift of
Griffin.
all.
Yeah, and a bunch of like business cards.
Baldy gave us a bunch of fun Baldy merch.
Yeah,
and
but John Fountain gave us the like little cardboard thing for the storyboards, and we put the Sergio thing in the middle. So when we get to a Florida hotel, or it was Texas. We park, and Veronica's been driving all day, so she's in like a pissy mood. We're going through, where we want to go to the pool, and Veronica's like, sure. And we get up to the room, and Veronica's like, oh, I forgot my bathing suit in the
I was like,
the car.
oh.
So she was like, oh, I
I
don't
was
want to
like,
go
don't
anymore.
make me go back to the car. I'm so tired. I don't want to go to the car. Mark's like, oh, come on. We'll
The
just
pool
quickly.
closes in like 20 minutes.
He's
It's
like,
in
we'll
and
just
out.
quickly do it. Whereas my idea of fun would have been, let's let Sonny splash around in the pool, and me and Mark can have alone time in the hotel.
We did leave him in the pool for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
while
he
we
was
were doing
waiting for
this.
us to
Well,
get
we
our
were like
suits
deciding
ready.
whether or not to go to the car.
And I was
So
like, wouldn't it be so much more funny if he just sat there and the pool
until it
closed? And
yeah. So we eventually I convinced her to go down to the car. So we're walking out of the car, and we look on the ground beside our car.
in the big
It's the
cardboard
folder of
that John Fountain gave us with
filled
all
with the Sergio gifts
of the
and all the original
illustrations.
sketches.
yeah, on the ground, like right next to my
right
tire.
next to a puddle too.
Yeah, it was next to a puddle.
'Cause it was raining in Texas, and it was in the part of the road where cars would be driving on.
Yeah, it was like It was like in the part of like the parking structure, like the parking spot of the hotel where that's the only place you can go in and out. So
And it was sitting there for like 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
if we like didn't go get Veronica's like bathing suit,
that
those
could have been
would
gone or run over or whatever. They
or flown away in the wind.
yeah.
you know?
We wouldn't have had them.
And then you know why that was? Because fucking Sonny was taking his shit out of the boot, and he sat that on top of the car
Yeah.
while he was taking his Suki aside, and then he closed the boot and went doo-doo-doo-doo, and then walked away
And
to the
it
hotel.
slid off onto the ground.
Um,
No, dude. Okay, Rusty and Sonny showed us this fucking video of this guy
It's
on
like this Asian man.
on
TikTok.
TikTok who is like a chef, but he makes like the most disgusting like food ever. Like
in
he
his
has.
disgusting apartment.
He's got a filthy apartment with like rotting food everywhere, and he literally just picks it up, shoves it in his mouth to like chew it, to like cut his vegetables, and then he spits it out into a bowl and like
mixes
microwaves
it together and like yeah.
It's so gross how he makes this food, but the end result, it's like, okay, that doesn't look half bad.
yeah.
The presentation's really nice.
And then he cleans up in a new video. where
Yeah,
it's,
and then
him
he'll make-
cleaning up, and then he makes a new mess.
He makes like another video where it's like, yeah, him cleaning his hog ass kitchen, like his nasty ass fucking home.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's really gross, but it was really funny and interesting.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Meeting John Fountain was a lot of fun too. He had a really nice his wife
He
decorated
was
really
so
well.
accommodating and so sweet.
Dude,
Shout
he
out
bought
to
us-
John Fountain.
He bought us like really good sandwiches too.
Mark was like, that was like one of the best sandwiches I ever had.
Yeah, I had like 2 of them. What else was there?
Oh, I gotta meet up with Jeff and Dave and Ivan. Corey. Oh no, Corey wasn't there. Wait, yeah, no, Corey was there.
Yeah.
And Tom. I got to see all the Newground guys and.
Road trip like constantly fluctuated between being like super chill and super fucking hectic. Where like
Yeah.
Veronica will drive like a full like day and a half to get to like the first place.
I would do like
to get to Sammy.
I would do like a 15-hour drive, right?
And then we would get to Sunny's house and we'd be like, oh, we have 5 days to just chill out. Like, so 5 days of nothing.
So it's like, oh, I drove all night, but you know what? At least I get to relax in 5 days. And then it's like, oh, well, no, because after the 5 days, you have to drive 10 hours or 15 hours
Yeah, we had to
to
drive
so-and-so.
Virginia, then North Carolina.
Then Georgia.
We like went down and then we went up again and then we went down to Georgia and then we went down to Florida and it's like 4 different places we had to go to in Florida over like the course of like 4 days. Then Mississippi and then back home.
Then we went to Dallas. Then we went to Tucumcari.
Yeah.
Toucan Henry.
Not to meet anyone though.
Just to get home. Those were the stops we made. Yeah. And then from there all the way back to LA.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun, but like
it was
took a lot out of
very.
me.
It was.
I got really
very
sick. If you ever noticed by the time we get to like the Nathaniel podcast and everyone after that, like Sergio and Blemin, I was like dying. I was really fucking sick. I was like sneezing a bunch and coughing a bunch. I was really cold.
I think it was exhaustion though.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm like working. I'm like worrying about work while doing all this stuff.
Mark's stressing out about how he's gonna not only like the project that we're working on, but also the podcast and getting traveling is exhausting. But then also on top of it, doing your videos.
Yeah, weekly videos.
What were you working on at the time? You were working on a video.
I worked on Bendy. And then I worked
Bendy.
on Quagmire, and then I think after that it was Fanboy, which I was working on the web back. And then I also worked on a Splash Dash video around that time, I think. And this is also when I was starting YouTube Shorts, because everyone we met was talking about YouTube Shorts. So I got like FOMO, you know. So I had started making those. So it's like, now that I'm home, I was like, oh, I can't wait to go back home for things to be relaxed. But no,
nope.
It's like, wake up, oh, I have to do these 5 things for these 5 different projects.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, at least when I get them done by this time, I can just relax for a bit and go to bed. But no,
nope.
we're doing it, and then I get tired and I go to bed, and then I wake up and do it all again. And so that's been our lives for the past like 3 months. Which is why the podcast, I feel bad that it's kind of been like neglected a bit. But now we're back to it.
We definitely do want to, like we said earlier, we definitely do want to do a lot more fun things with this and have more kind of like live action interactive type things.
Yeah. We were gonna record a whole live action thing with Nathaniel, but then we just forgot because we didn't have time.
We didn't even ask him because there was no time.
Yeah.
Because like the way I like structured this all, it was like, oh, okay, so I'll drive 15 hours and I'll get to this state at this time. It's going to be this many miles, which means I'll only have to stop to fill up my tank like 3 times. That's okay. Not anticipating
that
how much time of sleep we need.
Yeah, for a lot of the days we were planning on not sleeping at all.
Yeah.
But we ended up sleeping some of those days.
We ended up sleeping a decent amount.
So for a lot of people, it would be a thing where it's like, we can meet up for like 2 hours and we gotta go.
And then we gotta go.
We'd go to Nathaniel, and in my head, it would be like, okay, we can spend 3 hours in the morning with him. That's enough time to record the podcast. But that's not taking kind of like
setting
waking
it up,
meeting,
waking
like
up,
just being nice, talking to him. His friend Cherry
he came by and
recorded with us. So it's like a thing where we had to like get to North Carolina for like a certain time, but we don't actually get there until like 5 hours later because we got like 5 extra hours with Nathaniel, you know, where it's like, it's fun, but in the back of my head, I'm like, fuck,
it delays everything else.
It delays everything else.
But fortunately for us, one of the people that we were going to be spending 3 days with, they canceled. There were some things where it's like, we just can't do that, so we couldn't follow through on certain plans.
Some people, we were going to meet up with Tariq, Toonrific Tariq, but he was out of time. I think it was
it was like right when he was coming back, we had to leave, so there was there wasn't enough time for us to like both parties to like relax from what they've been doing, get in contact, do something, and then like move on, you know.
So yeah, very stressful month. But we were on the road for a month.
That's weird to think that was our life for a bit.
We're getting back here. It was like weird. I was like, I forgot I live here.
Yeah,
know?
I felt like a stranger in my own home.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oddly enough. And like,
which is like, now that you say that, I remember because my grandmother was calling us, being like, "Oh yeah, when I got home from visiting you in California, I felt like really weird being in my own house again." But that's, I was like, that's weird though. But no, I get that feeling because that's how I felt coming back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got more fun stuff coming. We got some more guests lined up for sure. We will hopefully see of soon. But I also want to do some more podcasts that are just kind of like us chilling, shooting the shit.
Yeah.
Talking about whatever shit's going on.
We should do a hookah podcast sometime.
Yeah, sure.
Hookah hour.
We can do that. Like the Breaking Bad one.
Yeah, like the Breaking Bad one.
But
that was a fun one.
Either way, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
But also give us a review on Apple Podcasts
only
and Spotify.
If it's positive, though.
Yeah,
only positive.
Only if it's positive. Okay.
Donald Trump is an asshole.
What can we tell them about that?
Okay, real quick.
Really quick. Okay, so when I was in Ireland, right, it was me, Mark, and his little cousin, and we went to like the mall or whatever, and Mark's mom went to go pick us up afterwards, and we're in the car, and I guess it was like a voting day in Ireland, so Mark's mom was like, "Oh, Mark, don't forget you have to vote today," and I think Kai.
No,
I was like, "Oh, who are you gonna vote for?"
No, Veronica was like, "You gonna vote for Donald Trump?" Or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
what it was. I was like,
And
"Oh,
then-
you're gonna vote for Donald Trump?"
And then my little cousin was like, "Donald Trump is an asshole."
He said it like quietly, like almost like it's under his breath, but not.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is an asshole.
And I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Just."
And I was like, "Wait a minute, Kai. What if I voted for Donald Trump? Do you think I'm an asshole?"
And he was like, "What?" Like
He's like, he could not he couldn't fathom that somebody in his life could have ever voted for. You know what I mean?
That's because in Ireland, it's like
it's a meme.
we only see things from what the news presents to us, so it's all like Donald Trump is a joke to everyone in Ireland.
American politics are a joke.
American politics is a joke,
Yeah.
but we know about we have the whatever the popular opinion is, that's what we hear.
Yeah.
So in my head, it's like because Mario Odyssey came out one year, and I was playing it with my little cousin, and it was like 2017, and he's like, he would have been like fucking 7, 8 years old at this point. Maybe even no, he would have been like 6 years old, and we're running around the New Donk City area, and he sees a guy, and he's like, "That looks like Donald Trump," and I was like, "What the fuck? How do you know about Donald Trump?" I didn't even know who Obama was when I was your age.
Obama. I just thought it was really funny that he has this inner quandary of this his
idea that someone he knows,
somebody who he knows
could have done a bad thing,
or not even like a bad
a thing that is considered
something
bad.
that is considered bad.
Yeah.
That
was very funny.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny too.
But yeah,
like breaking his brain.
So thanks for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.